standing anymore today. It was destroyed, but actually there's not much left of it whatsoever. And therefore, if you want to get more of an understanding what exactly the tabernacle was, what it looked like, dimensions, and so on and so forth, it's important to start here first. So, what we have over here is the outer section of the tabernacle, and then the inner section itself. The outer section over here, the tent of meeting, Ohel Moed, the outer section here, the Bible tells us the size of it. It tells us that it was 50 amah by 100 amah, which means it is 75 feet by 150 feet. That's one of the important things. Something else that we also know that's important is that Jews, contrary to other religions at that time, would pray towards the west, so to speak. Okay? Most religions at that time would be praying towards the east. The sun came up in the east, and they were worshiping the sun. So they would all get up in the morning and they would pray towards the east. Judaism was different. We did not pray towards the sun. And therefore, God goes and purposely has us enter from the east, and we would come towards the west over here, towards this right over here, the Holy of Holies, which is in this section, the west right over here. A big difference between us and other religions. Later on, when the temple is built in Jerusalem, there too, its entrance is from the east and they go towards the west. For the same reason, the tabernacle is just a miniature temple, which will be later on in Jerusalem. And so the importance of entering from the east and going towards the west itself. If we jump forward in time to the actual temple in Jerusalem, where would the western wall be? Have you been there yet? Okay. The western wall, where would it be? It wasn't actually this. It wasn't even here. It was actually this part over here. It was an outer retaining wall that held the dirt that the temple was built on. So the western wall would have been this one, which you can see right over here. Obviously not here, because that's in Jerusalem, but this is just to give you more of an understanding when you do get to Jerusalem, what the western wall was. Okay? What you can see over here is the altar. That copper altar is the altar that they would bring sacrifices on. This over here, the copper laver, where the priests and Levites would wash their hands and their feet. Only priests were allowed into this section, which is over here, and inside there were 3 other vessels that you can see there. There was the table, which had on it the special showbread, which would be exchanged only on Friday and miraculously would stay fresh and warm from the Friday beforehand. There was the menorah for the light, the candelabra, which for the light. And there was another altar, the golden altar, or the inner altar, and that was the altar that was used for incense. There was another section, which was right over here, which was known as the Holy of Holies. Inside the Holy of Holies was the Ark of the Covenant, and inside the Ark of the Covenant were the 10 Commandments, and next to it were also the broken 10 Commandments, the first ones that Moses brought down. And there was also, anybody remember what else was there in the Holy of Holies?
Aaron's rod.
Aaron's rod. What was Aaron's rod? What kind of rod was it? Anyone remember? Almonds. And that could be that the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild of those, that rod is right outside over here, all of those almond trees that you see growing here. All right? And there was the manna. All right? There was a jar of manna, so that also would have been over here in the Holy of Holies. So only once a year was the high priest allowed to go into the Holy of Holies, and that was on Yom Kippurim, the Day of Atonement. If he was righteous, he would leave that area after he had prayed on behalf of the Jewish people. If he was not, that is where he would remain, and they would have to pull him out because nobody else would be allowed to go inside. Okay? So that was what you can see right over here, and we're going to go and see remnants of it.